What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. This video was posted by a man named Brendan Leslie. It is from a Florida Senate committee meeting or something where these activists are basically claiming that a bill that would restrict gender reassignment surgeries is going to cause genocide. And that's what we constantly hear, right? Because of course, first things first, every single one of these weirdo establishment talking points will undoubtedly, like clockwork, without fail, every single time, conflict with another one of their talking points. And on top of that, every single one of them is always life and death. If you don't wear the mask, life and death. If you don't get the shot, life and death. If you drive a truck, climate change, sun monsters coming to get us, life and death. If you don't let these kids chop their junk off, life and death. It never ends with them. They pull on the heartstrings and they tell you that if I don't get my way, somebody's going to hurt themselves. And look, if you're over 18 and you want to do this, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you're 2 or 200 years old. This isn't going to work. You pretend it's going to work. You're trying to put a round peg into a square hole. No pun intended. But it's never going to work. You want everybody to capitulate to your delusions, and it's just not real. Why is this happening at such a rapid pace? This wasn't even a thing when I was in school, and now we're all just pretending that you can just magically change gender because you want to? Well, fine. I am now Steph Curry. I am Tiger Woods. I am LeBron James. Address me as such. I identify as a billionaire. It doesn't make sense. Why is this the only thing that you can change? You try to change your race, you get laughed out the building. They called you crazy. But if you want to change your gender, you want to snip, you want to nip tuck, then it's super. We got to celebrate this. And anybody who doesn't celebrate it is a bigot. This is all absolute nonsense, but we're going to watch it play out in real time where these people are going to tell you that there will be severe consequences if you don't capitulate to all of their wacky delusions. And where did it come? It's airdropped. It's all fake. Like I said, this wasn't even real. Like all these activists are going to say, there was two-spirit people in 1800, whatever. It's all nonsense. Fine, there were some weirdos. There's always been weird people. But there was nobody telling you straight to your face that if you don't believe that a boy can magically turn into a girl because he so thinks it, then you're the problem. That wasn't real. That didn't happen until, in my humble opinion, Twitter. But let's check it out and see how these people are going to tell you that there's going to be a genocide if they don't get to chopping their own junk off.
Hi, I was once a trans youth, and now I'm a happy 22-year-old trans adult student at New College of Florida. This is my health care. Ma'am? Okay.
What? And she shoots her, she, he, they, them, zim, zer, whatever it is, shoots a needle. And there you have it right there. This person is already a lifelong pharmaceutical customer, a lifelong medical customer. This is not, this is not a little quick one and done, not by any stretch of the imagination. When you get into this world, you're done, right? Because even if you want to go back, you're still going to be a life. I mean, it's an absolute mess, and people are pretending it's absolutely normal. And if you don't think it's normal, then you're a bad person. And I can't stand it anymore.
Don't tread on it.
Senator Yarborough has militarized the Florida GOP into the genital Gestapo. Ron DeSantis wants trans people dead. You are
No. And there you have it. Dead. We're going to die. Ron DeSantis wants us dead. Bro, who are you kidding? Who are you selling this to? Right? I mean, I shouldn't say nobody because obviously some people do buy it. But you can't literally be thinking that this is changing any minds and hearts because you can never back up your idea. You can never rationalize a single point. You just say, they're going to die with every single thing. If maybe you could articulate a thought, then you might be able to win over some hearts and minds, but it's completely unrealistic. So you just go to the most extreme point of view and say that if you don't do it, then people will die. It's like that Sunny clip when they were arguing about the size of the lemon wedge. Oh, people will choke. People will die. Doesn't have anything to do with this, but I do love Sunny. Shout out to them.
committing genocide.
I grew up in Germany in the aftermath of Nazis.
Oh, look at this picture of Health with her mask on telling you that she grew up in the aftermath in 1940s Germany, and it's the same thing. Right? Yeah, Governor DeSantis, he's just like the Fuhrer.
And what you people are doing is no different. This is transphobic, it is cruel, and you really should be ashamed.
It's no different from 1930s, 1940s Germany. Same thing. Exact same thing, right? Of course.
what you are doing by signing this bill is an act of war. The way it is.
And why don't you guys shake it up a little bit? You're so predictable. You got the green hair, you got the mask on. You look like a meme. You look like you're playing a part. Why are you all so predictable? How come there's no just regular looking people here saying, you know what, this is wrong? You're all so extreme. You're trying to portray a character, none of it's real, which makes sense because all the political theater is all fake too.
As it is now, my people will die. And that blood, if you support this bill, will be on your hands.
Blood is on your hands if you support this bill. Oh, the trannies, oh, the transformers. Oh, blood is on your hands. Can you believe it? Why don't you?
I'm 12 years old. I'm non-binary.
12? We saw a story not too long ago of a 12-year-old who stabbed a kid on a bus. And now this 12-year-old is claiming that, so they're growing up quick, right? You're attempting murder, basically, and you're non-binary at 12 years old. This wasn't even...
If you pass this bill, many of us will die.
She's 12. What else can you not do at 12 years old? I don't know. You can't drink booze, can't smoke weed, can't drive a car, can't get a tattoo, can't rent an apartment, can't do anything at 12 years old. But for some reason, they want you to believe that they can choose their gender or lack thereof, right? Non-binary. I double dog dare you to look into gender nullification surgery. One of the prominent doctors who's neutering these people is in San Francisco, and there's pictures, but I digress.
I deserve to live as long as all of you. We are humans too.
When I was 2, I wanted to kill myself. By the time I was 15...
When I was 2? What? Go back. This guy says when he was 2, he wanted to harm himself. No way.
When I was 2, I wanted to kill myself.
Who are you convincing with this? When you were 2? You can't even put a spoon to your mouth. You can't even eat applesauce by yourself. You can't use the bathroom by yourself at 2. What are you talking about? You are making these people look worse and more insane than they already do.
By the time I was 15, I attempted to slice my own breasts off. I went to the ER because I was bleeding out.
I'd also like to implore you all to remember that less than a week ago, gun law restrictions were loosened. And anyone who thinks it's a good idea to come and take my child, I dare you.
Oh, she thinks that's a mic drop. So this guy claims that at 2 years old, he wanted to off himself. I'll take things that never happened for $1,200, Alex. Give me a break. It's laughable. And then this lady, she tries to play the badass. Oh, if you're going to take my kid, just remember you. So I guess she's claiming that you shouldn't have loosened the gun rights because I'm going to shoot you if you if you don't let my kid cut his junk. What are you talking about? Who are you, who is this winning over? You're preaching to the choir, as I so often do as well, but you're not convincing anybody. You're literally not convincing anybody. You're only further radicalizing people who believe this absolute garbage.
Every time that I look at you guys in this committee, I realize more and more that you guys want to commit trans genocide,
And there we have it again. And why can't one of you guys just show up in regular clothes and regular haircut? I mean, you're a caricature of yourself at this point.
That our blood is on your hands. I am the parent.
We already heard that. Oh, the blood is on your hands. Yeah, well, the blood's going to be elsewhere if you keep really trying to mutilate your body like that.
Of a transgender child who is almost 8 years old.
No such thing. Literally no such thing. Your child is transgender at 8 years old. The other guy said he wanted to off himself at 2. This is getting comically outrageous.
And we're at the beginning of our journey, and what you're doing is taking away life-saving potential opportunity for me and my family.
Every 45 seconds, a trans person makes an attempt on their life, meaning that one happened every 2 speakers that you saw this very moment. 10 years ago, that was me, and 1 year ago, that was one of my siblings. And tomorrow, it will be the children of people in this room. Your vote on this bill determines if that 45 seconds becomes 30.
None of this makes any sense. I don't know. These are just like emo drama kids. If you're trying to stop the bill from getting passed, that is not not going to do the job. You got to come with a little bit. And maybe I didn't watch the whole thing, right? Maybe somebody said something that made sense, but at its core, this just doesn't work. Okay? You can pretend, you can foist your delusions on everybody else, but at the end of the day, it doesn't work. So you screaming about blood on your hands, you screaming about genocide, it's completely unrealistic. When I was 2 years old, my kid is 8. None of it. Give it a rest, guys. So this thing has gone completely off the rails. And if you're really committed to it, then you got to go to California. You got to go to New York or maybe Washington or Oregon or something where they'll probably pay for it for you, right? They're going to tax the regular citizens through the roof and then give you the money to chop your junk off and then give you another $1,200 every single month because of the hard time that you've put yourself through. And nobody's going to look. A lot of people want to talk about, okay, mental health and wellness and all that stuff, which sure, that's possible. But this is a social contagion, right? This happened fast. And they want to, well, people were in the shadows, it wasn't accepted. No, this happened incredibly quick. In the last 10 years, we went from, a 21-year-old biological woman celebrating her birthday at a drag show to little boys, 2-year-olds pretending that they were going to off themselves, and an 8-year-old, gender fluid. Give it a rest. It doesn't matter, right? Because we all know that if you let this happen, this is the big ask. Because when you get people to believe this, you control their thoughts. You control everything. You can get them to do whatever it is they want. So as soon as you can get people to believe that a man can magically become a woman just because he so thinks it, obviously you can get people to believe that the air outside their front door is dangerous and they shouldn't leave the house. Obviously you can get people to believe that the sun monster is coming to get you in 7 years. You can get them to believe any of that because you have controlled them by removing the basic foundation of what we know and how we even exist as people. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.